I thought you came up with the idea of the topic. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're just getting started right now. Let's just wait for some people to log in.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
there's already somebody there, so
Cool.
we can get started now. So Oscar Cruz, how are you this morning, bro?
Good morning, Cam. How you doing, bud? Good
Having a
to.
good old time. Hot, really hot here in the Yucatan.
Oh, really?
Shoot,
Your
bro.
skin is melting off.
I know it is, bro, but it's also my makeup is all coming, like my mascara is coming, is dripping now.
It's dripping.
Yeah. So how's everything been, bro?
Oh, it's good. Good to be back. Little setback there a couple of weeks ago, but it's just it's our new reality, buddy. We got to face it and just overcome.
Yeah, I know it is. All right. Hey, so everybody, how's everybody doing? Everybody be showing up right there. Say hi, good morning. How's everybody doing? If any of you who's already in the broadcast wants to come in, here is the link so you can come talk to us. Okay?
Cool.
So I'm giving you the link, which is this one. If you're watching us from YouTube, this is the link, and if you're watching us from Facebook, that's the link. So if any one of you wants to come in and be part of the broadcast and come practice your English, come tell us something, whatever, you just click on that link, enter to StreamYard, and that's it. You put your name, you give permission to your camera and your microphone, and that's it. In 3 clicks, you're with us.
Easy as that.
All right, bro. So what's the topic today, Oscar?
Well, what we talked about, we could sort of like give sort of just general pointers as to how people can, develop the four different skill sets, right?
Right.
Reading, listening, writing, and speaking, right? I know right now, have you seen all these memes that are going out there right now? Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen that meme about that dog where it's he's happy when he's reading, and when he's listening, and when he's writing, but then when it comes to the speaking, that dog is drowning, right? I think that's a meme that's out there right now in a
That
lot of these.
that's. But I've noticed people. I mean, people are different, bro. Like I have a student that can talk and talk, and she commits little mistakes. But
Okay,
when it comes to writing, ooh, you know,
it's a challenge for her.
bad. Other people can write, but when it comes to listening, ooh, it's bad. So do you think what would be your recommendation to grow the four skills at the same time? Is there any?
That's exactly the same. That was the question I was going to ask. Currently, I'm for the past couple of years, I've been working with a lot of intermediate and upper intermediate, right? But right now, I'm actually working with two different groups. A group of teenagers that are actually
Mm,
part of my son's school, or part of his group, right? Because he's in a public school, and
okay.
they really didn't speak any English at all. And my son, I don't mean to brag, but he's perfectly fluent. So he gets to show off every once in a while, and I tell him, hey man, you gotta tone it down, man, because he wants to be correcting teachers' pronunciation and stuff, but
Ooh,
he's got to respect the authority, right?
okay. How old is he?
He's 13.
Ooh. How did
Yeah.
he get it? He was
I
born in Mexico, right?
No, yeah, he was born in Mexico, but I basically just created a, I would say, I immersed him in it. I mean, I would talk to him, point to words, vocabulary, music, like all the little, kindergarten type of stuff, all in English. And at the beginning, he didn't like it. He was like, I don't want to, like Spanish and stuff. But then he gradually started growing on him. And I think what really helped him was he started following some YouTubers when he was young, like 8 or
How old?
7.
Ah,
Like,
okay.
yeah, he was like 8 or 7, and he just started listening to him in English, and he just understood it. And what I really like about this little dude is he understands the nuances, like the how can I say, the humor behind the
Feeling.
language. Yeah, so that's it. He said, he has little issues here for grammar and stuff, but overall it's good. But in his group, he has a couple of friends that they were like, they're like way like bad. So I told the parents, hey, let me get a little group together, see if we can help them develop their skills. And my sisters-in-laws, my two sister-in-laws, I'm actually having these two groups that are like from scratch, basically, right? And this is something I hadn't done in years, bro. So maybe this is why we could be talking about this. So
How old are
so
they?
one is 40, so she's
Okay.
pretty seasoned,
All right.
and the other one is 32, so she's still relatively a young adult, right? Under 35, you're still young.
All right.
And I've been working with these two groups, man. I have really like had to just like go back and dig deep on all these, tool kits and exercises, and I've had to do my research, man. I had to go back and say, oh boy, this is an experience. So based on that, I guess when people are learning a new language, the question we can start off with is, what should be the skill set to focus on, or should you cover like all four skill sets? What do you think, like on your experience? And I'll tell you mine.
Well, recently I've developed this technique,
Okay.
which how you doing, Flor de Maya? Let me.
Good morning,
Flor
Flor.
Maya.
Yeah, you gotta.
Flor, Brenda, Octavio, they're following us. Okay, this is a live podcast, so you can comment, and we'll be reading your comments right there. Okay, so what I think the first thing that we gotta not to children though, but to adults is to show them the sounds, the sounds of English, not to master the sounds. Yeah, speaking, make them be in contact with the language right there. Okay, so that's the first thing. Teach them, or not teach them, but show them the sounds, and make them be aware that they're going to be facing other sounds that are not in Spanish,
Correct.
So that's the first thing. Make them aware of that. And then probably vocabulary. I think vocabulary is the most important thing, because later on you will teach them some structure, where to use that vocabulary. But first thing, because with practical vocabulary, you can express yourself. You can say water, boom. But if you say water or something, you still are, you're still functional. So what you need is vocabulary, and then structure. So basically, that would be what I would use. And you could not reading though. Reading is
Is that something you leave for like later on? Like maybe they're at an A2, B1 type of thing?
Exactly. Not for A1s, for A1s. They have to read the vocabulary.
Eventually.
Yeah. But not whole readings like that, So that's probably what I would go for. Sounds, vocabulary, and
structure.
Basic structure.
Like, a subject, verb, agreement, word order, that type of stuff.
That's what it is. Yes. Subject, verb, complement, connector, subject, verb, complement. I like keep it simple. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's basically how I, you know what I'm saying? But
and obviously, if you are talking about this because you've seen it work for you and your students.
Sure. Because students, like I had a different approach before. I used to give them structure first, but they didn't know how it worked because they didn't have any vocabulary. Then way before I used to give them vocabulary first, but they say, but when I read it, I mispronounce it. So it's not functional, So now what I show them first is the sounds. First you need to make a difference between, it's like in Spanish you have a, but maybe in English you'll have
A, right?
Or a, or so, or even a schwa, no, like
the schwa. Let's not talk about the schwa, man.
Yeah, you have to show them the schwa because
you gotta show them the schwa
almost in every word.
And it replaces a lot of other vowel sounds. So definitely, the schwa is the schwa.
Sure, that's what it is. And listening, what I was telling my my intermediate student yesterday was that they don't need to understand everything. They just need to be
Correct.
in contact with the language, with the
Correct.
sound, with the feeling. Because now she has the vocabulary, she has the structure, but she doesn't have the feeling. You know, so when people talk to her or when she listens to a video or something, she doesn't understand much. And when she wants to speak, she speaks like robotic. You know, she speaks clearly, sure, but she doesn't have the feeling. You know, she's still thinking in Spanish. And what I recommended her is like whenever she's driving, she listens to podcasts. You know,
Good.
because podcasts and interviews are back and forth. You know, one, two, three, probably three people. You know, so basically, she needs to be in contact with the language, regardless of trying to understand what they're saying. I mean, that's not the point right now. Don't try to understand every single word. You know, just try to feel it. You know, the intent, the intonation. You know,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
pronunciation is something, but then intonation is something
That's the different. Yep.
more important. You
Yep.
know, I gave her the example when I was learning English. In Miami, I used to play ball. I used to play basketball, and then people would say,
Oh.
"Right, back in the day, bro, it was Michael Jordan's day." Yeah, so it was. They would say, "Oh, you were bouncing, you were playing, you were dribbling," and then people would say, it would go out of bounds, and then you would say, "Oh, I didn't touch it," and I'll go like, "What are they saying? I didn't
I didn't.
touch it."
I didn't.
You know,
I didn't. Yeah.
I didn't touch it. You know, but then I said, "Well, if I copy that, and if I say I didn't touch it, they get, I'm gonna try." So I was dribbling, boom, 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 and then the ball went out of bounds, and I said, "I didn't touch
I
it."
didn't touch it.
You know. And then she said, and then these people said, "Hey, what the fuck? You touched blah blah blah." I didn't even understand. And then I was saying, but they gave me the ball, so I said, "Oh,
It
okay,
worked.
it worked." I don't even know what I'm saying, but I didn't touch it. Means I get the ball. You know,
Exactly.
so that's probably what people need to start imitating a little bit more.
No,
And
and you're
then
telling her to do this, right?
sure, sure, do that because try to listen and imitate. To model what they say, and later on you will find out what you're really saying. I don't know what you think about that.
No, definitely. I mean, I like the points you shared in regarding to how the method or the I like to call it strategy, because we all have different strategies, right? And I think a lot of people in nowadays, that's what's working, right? The strategies that work for your market, the strategies that work for my market, and just other teachers in general, they have different strategies that work for them. So that strategy that you have, I think it's a real good one for people that are grasping the language for the first time. I'd like to add that point that you said about the intonation and the challenging part, and I agree with you there regarding the fact that you can develop the four different skill sets, but that intonation, the way native speakers drop sounds, the way native speakers connect sounds, like I didn't touch it, right? Normally it would be I didn't touch it, right? That's how people learn it, right?
Yes,
but
or I
nat-
did
but
not.
exactly, but native speakers don't say that, right? We say I didn't do it, right? Or I'm going to go do that, right? You don't learn this in textbook environments, right? So those little nuances or those little ways that native speakers speak and getting the intonation, personally, I believe that's the hardest thing, and that's something that you should target at the end. Once you are proficient, once you are fluent, once you start like really, really dominating the language, then you can target that like you're doing with your intermediate student. I think that's the most challenging thing to grasp. You know,
Sure.
the little cues. I call them speaking cues. The little cues native speakers use, right? And I think that
Look,
takes
Brenda has a
time, dude,
comment.
because there's a lot of rhythm.
Oh, rhythm and intonation. It's part of
Oh
it.
man, yeah. American English is full of rhythm, man. The mouse went up the clock, da 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 da. Right, you use all these different rhythms, and that's like sort of how you start using it to speak.
Brenda has a
Sorry.
comment. Says
Oh, let's see. Let's
pronunciation,
see.
vocabulary, structure is the best formula. Liam, which is her son, is starting to speak already.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, yes, of course. You
We
know,
should have we
so
should have Liam and my son come on the show, man. One
yeah,
of these
yeah,
days.
right. How old your son? You said he is
13.
13. Yeah, Liam's a little younger, but yeah. That's a generation. Yes, of course.
No, and these guys, oh man, for example, the group I'm working with, the kids, the one I mentioned, and I'll get into my strategy as well right now, like the one you shared. Bro, these kids nowadays, I mean, I know kids have always been sponges, right? I think that's something we've all been taught, right? Their brain is developing, their sensory skills are like at 100,000%. So, they're just absorbing everything. I understand that. But like these kids, I'm giving them like my lessons, and I'm sharing my screen, and I'm using, Prezi, and I'm just trying to get as interactive as possible. And man,
Yeah.
they're just grasping things left and right, and I'm like,
Right.
wow, man.
Now, yeah, I have two students. Well, I have some teenagers and preteens,
Preteens.
preteens and teens too, because two of them are 15,
Oh,
and
okay.
three of them are 12 and 13. So the newer generations are grasping it like nothing, bro. Like, whoa, really? Because I one of them, she's 13 years old, and she speaks like a native, bro. And I say, hey, what's that? The first, her mom wants me to make her practice, right? And then I said, hey, then the first class, I listen to her and I say, wait a minute, how do you get that good in English? I mean, and then tell me your key. Tell me the key. Tell me your secret. And she said,
Share it.
Yeah, share it with me. I'm really interested in your case. And
What did she say?
she said she didn't know. But then I started asking, do you listen to music? Well, yeah, I listen to music. And then what do you watch TV? No. What do you do for entertaining and yourself? And I watch YouTube. YouTubers. So these new generations have that advantage.
Yeah, they're born with the
YouTubers.
chip, bro. They're born with the chip.
Yeah, and then usually these YouTubers, consciously or not, they are very graphic. They are very explanatory. Whatever they're showing, they're speaking
Boom.
about it.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. They're very so. Yeah, I recommend people to follow YouTubers. However, for middle-aged people, sometimes it might be a little boring. That's what.
Yeah, they don't identify with that. Something more serious, maybe.
I like it.
Yeah, you gotta stay on top of things, right?
Yeah. And he says, Fabiola says there, Estrella says, congratulations, Liam. Yes, of course, bro. But I'm talking about those grown-ups trying to learn English. I had one of my best friends, in life. He started, he's my friend, right? Since we were kids, and when I went to the States, I didn't see him anymore. He stayed in Mexico. He grew up. 20 years later, I saw him again, and then one of my friends, one of my other old friends said he spoke English, and this specific friend, this guy, he didn't speak no English. He's a very successful man, a very successful business person, whatever.
Nice.
But he spoke no English. And then the other guy started bullying him, like, how come you're so successful and you don't speak English like me? I like him. And
That's
I was
what it
like,
is.
and then he said, and I said, man, if you want, I can help you. I can help you learn.
I'll hook you up.
Right. I hook you up in learning. And then he said, no, I don't want to do it. I'm too old for this. He was 30.
Never too old.
And then I said, nah, you should give it a try. But he said, I tried before, but it was too hard for me. I said, just give me a month.
Give me 1 month, man.
Yeah, give me a month trial. So he said, oh, it's not that hard. I made it easy for him. And then, he's been with me as a student for almost 3 years now.
And how
I'm
is
not
he? How's the progress?
I'm not saying he's fully bilingual, but he's in, like, when we watch stand up comedy,
He can understand.
he's getting there.
So
You
he's
know,
a B2, C1 maybe?
he is, but
B1, B2, or
no, I think he's a B2 because when he speaks, for different skills, different levels, right?
correct,
But
correct.
his speaking level, I mean, yeah, bro. I thought, because it's hard to remember vocabulary when you're older, supposedly, but not to him. He's a very lucid person, though.
Well, I mean,
So
he's our age, right? I mean, he's not like
right.
60, bro.
No, but 40s are, you're middle aged, right? Oh,
Well, yeah, come on, man. We're barely there, man.
no. I'm saying, but you think, I mean, or people might think that it's too late to learn, but it's never too late.
Not at all. I mean, I think there are actually like when people hit their early 60s, like senior citizens, what they recommend for them to stay lucid is
Right.
besides exercise and swimming, learning a new language because that just there's just a whole bunch of neurological changes that occur in the brain when you're acquiring a language. So definitely never too late to learn a language.
No, it's never too late. In fact, what you said, it might help you, stay lucid. Estrella has a
Oh, here we
comment.
go. Here we go.
My son is 7. He likes to watch kids in YouTube, and he uses some expressions, even though he doesn't know the meaning. He uses exactly, even though he doesn't use the meaning, he uses it in the right situations. Exactly.
Exactly. He's been exposed to it and he's seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like the example of my dad, he would just before he went to the United States, he knew English. How? Through modeling.
Modeling. Yeah.
Movies. You would listen to the guy, like, "Hey, you motherfucker," and then he say, "What are you saying, Dad?" And then he say, "Well, that's what the movie said, so I gotta repeat what he said." And then when he went to the States, then he structured his English, but he already knew the feeling, which is
Exactly.
the most important thing.
That's the most important thing.
Because I've had hundreds, probably not thousands, but hundreds of students that come from traditional schools that teach them, structure,
Structure.
grammar, and when they speak, they are always limited. They are always limited.
Or robotic.
They're too robotic. Yeah.
Or they translate continuously. Yeah.
What do you think about translating? Do you think it's a good
I
or bad?
think definitely. I mean, I think translating at a beginner level, some people might say, no, you can't translate and, part of the brain and you're not developing whatever. But I think everyone that learns a new, for example, I tried learning Italian 2 years ago, right? Using Duolingo, right? So ragazzo, le bambina, and all this stuff. I like Italian. I like the gangster, right? So Italian. And
Matter of fact,
I was translating, bro. I was translating, bro.
You resemble a little bit to you know who? You know who? What's his name? Robert De Niro?
Robert De Niro, man.
Anyway,
my.
so you were learning Italian.
Exactly. And I was translating, man. I mean, literally, I was translating in Spanish, in English, and then in Italian. And I was barely learning the language. So I think it's something, for many years, people would say, don't translate, right? It's not maybe in the 1800s, right? It was something that it was very normal to do. But like, you can't help translate. I mean, that's a reality. So
Right.
I think at a beginner level, I think every once in a while, translating could help. Like,
Sure.
you might explain the structure, you might explain some vocabulary, you might explain, I don't know, adverbs of frequency, right? Usually, sometimes, never. And then you say, okay, how would you say that in Spanish? And then people like start putting their ideas together and you're like, not bad. Yeah. And they're actually translating, right? So I think translating at a beginning level, it helps personally.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially to see differences and similarities between languages.
And not
I
just
would-
that, so they can communicate and notice that sometimes you don't have to like translate like exactly every single thing as long as you translate the idea.
Context.
The
Yes,
context.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I always say that there's a difference between translating and interpreting.
Oh,
You
good
know,
point. Good point.
like translating. Sometimes my work, for example, when I teach tenses, translating helps us because they're not too different. English and Spanish, for example, they're not two different languages when it comes to tenses.
Right.
We have some similar elements. For tenses. Which we can use for our advantage, right? However, there will be a point where it won't work. You
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
need to translation won't do.
Yeah.
You go to interpretation, so you got to read the whole idea and then give it an interpretation, because if you try to translate everything, it might not match the feeling of the other language.
Hey, I
you
think
know
that's a good topic for next time. Maybe we should bring like an interpreter translator in English and other languages and see like what are their tips or experiences. Because like you said, an interpreter does that. You don't translate, you interpret.
yeah, you have to listen to the idea or read the idea and then express it. Okay, man, I'm sorry, and Andriani,
Andriani.
that's how you say it.
Yeah,
Okay,
Andriani.
we're still gonna be here for a few more minutes, guys. So if you want to come in and talk to us live, we're here. We're gonna be here. So I'm sending you the link. So here's a link I'm posting on YouTube or on Facebook. So you just click on that link, enter the StreamYard Studio. Say yes to your camera, uh, type your name in, and you'll be here with us in 3 clicks. Okay, so those are the links I'm sending you. If you want to come here and practice a little bit, you're free to do so. If you can't because you're at work, well, don't worry about it. See you next time. But if you have some free minutes and want to practice some English, come in and talk to us. Okay, yeah, bro. Like the feeling of the language. I've always had this idea of opening a school. I might do it one of these days.
Why not?
Okay, look, this is a school where it will be a house that you will come in and you will have native teachers, not even native teachers, native speakers. From, like, for example, in Cancun, in Cuernavaca, in a touristic place, where you invite speakers, not necessarily teachers, from other countries, you know, and they have a pool, they have a bar, they have a kitchen, they have everything. So you'll be interacting with them, you know.
And
So
you
just
pay, and people pay to play, to go there.
exactly like role plays only, like, hey, let's cook together. I'm not gonna have whiteboards or anything,
No, we're
you know.
doing it hands on immersion. That's cool,
Exactly.
man. I like
Hey,
that.
let me have a knife, and you're basic. You don't even know what
What?
a
What?
knife is.
Yeah.
A knife, bro. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
knife. You know what I'm saying? That's the way. It might work. I don't know. I'm still developing the.
Yeah. Structure it, man. But it sounds like you're onto something, man. Sounds like you're onto something. Let me write
Yeah.
that down, man. Let me write that down. Right.
No, it is, because sometimes when you sit down and you set your mind into, oh, I'm gonna learn. Probably sometimes you're, especially for basic students, they think about it so much that they start thinking, oh, I'm learning. Oh, this is an English school.
I
I don't
don't
understand
know.
anything.
I
I
hate
don't know.
tests. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. Like, if it's a one-on-one, you have certain advantages, because
One on
the
one.
embarrassment level is less,
Lower. Yeah.
exactly, lower. But when you are in a group, ooh,
Pressure.
you don't want to talk.
Our
You don't want to.
ego. Our ego is
Sure,
there, man.
exactly. And then if that student speaks better than you think you do, oh, you'll feel intimidated. You're not gonna do it. So you're gonna be like, no, and then you're thinking too much. But when
Yeah.
you're doing it, like in a workshop, when you're actually doing the activity and you're forced to express, or when you get mad, or when you want to fight, when you want to, that I think that's what I want to have in this new concept.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of these international schools and international programs in Canada, UK, and the US. That's basically what they do, right? But it's
Immersion.
limited. Exactly. They basically take you to on campus, right? You're boarding there, you're living there, you go to your classroom setting environment, and then basically they just throw you on campus, right? So it's sort of like what you said, but not as personal as the idea that you have, right? Much more intimate. Now, this is a good idea because you can basically get a house with 3 rooms, and you tell these foreigners, listen, I will pay room, board, and food for your ass
Exactly.
for 3 months. All you have to do is speak in English with the people that are there.
Have fun.
Monday through Friday, have fun, and then Saturday and Sunday you can just do whatever the hell you want. I think that's a good concept, bro.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, bro,
We
because
should talk, man. We'll talk later on. We'll talk some business.
yeah, because how many people can go to like abroad, like study abroad?
It's
Some
very
people,
expensive, very expensive.
financially, it's hard for some people.
Now,
Maybe
let me ask you this. Let me throw you a curveball, man. Do you still think that English learning or English acquisition is still expensive in Mexico?
well, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, bro, and they're good. There's and there's a lot of knowledge there for free. It's kind of tricky too because you might find one that might confuse you, that because they're not really pros or anything. But there are a lot of them that really know what they're doing. Some of them don't, but some of them really know what they're doing.
Okay.
So taking that in consideration, I think people
Have
need to
options.
have many options now.
Okay.
Sure,
But
and
now you said that there's a lot of YouTube, right? But let's talk about the internet connectivity in Mexico, right? We're still like at 60%, 70. We're not even at 80 or 90, so we're still growing there, right?
well, I mean, yes, you're right. I mean, still not for everybody. Yes, of
Okay.
course. I mean, if you live in a city, sure, like everything, including language acquisition, will be easier, than if you live in the countryside or anything. Yes, definitely. But talking about like cities, like I don't think there's any
Major cities,
major
yeah.
cities. I don't think there's or even small cities. As long as you have internet connection,
You're
you
good
know,
to go.
yeah, you can. I mean, I always recommend my students to take classes from laptop, from a computer, but even from your cell phone, you can learn little step by step, little by little, taking your
True.
notes. So I think, I mean, going back to your question, I don't think it's expensive anymore.
Okay.
Like
It's
it
it's
might
much more accessible, you could say,
way much,
than
you know,
20 years ago when we started. Remember, people were paying
because you had no
2K,
option.
18. You had no options, nothing
You,
online, and you had to go.
you had to. I mean, how are you going to learn English? I don't know. I need to ask an expert. you know so, and where's the expert? It's only three or four or five options. And now the experts are, there are more people doing it for free or more accessible to people. What I think people should invest on is on one-on-one practicing, like paying an expert,
Feedback.
yeah, to have some feedback. Hey,
Yeah.
where am I messing up? Where am I committing
Yeah.
mistakes on?
Yeah.
So
Is
can
this
you
right? Is
correct
this
me?
wrong? Exactly.
Because I've seen a lot of groups, a lot of WhatsApp groups that these people form, and they have okay, let's talk. Yeah,
Hey, what are your thoughts on that, dude? I've seen that a lot too. Like, you can learn English through WhatsApp and we'll chat. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, are you? I don't know. I'm like, are you for real, man? I mean,
it's
what do you
like
think?
showering. It's like taking a shower with recycled water. You know what I'm saying?
It's like
Like
wiping your butt with like dirty paper.
that's what it is. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, bro.
Uh,
Like you're committing like the same mistakes, and you might acquire these confidence in yourself that you're speaking English. Probably that's the advantage there. but at the same time, you're talking and nobody's correcting you. So how can you fix your English? How can you learn more? How can you know if what you're learning is right or wrong if there's no expert in the group? You know. So I think yeah, it's just recycling your mistakes. You know, and you might pay attention to some people with a higher level than you and probably say, oh, that's the way it is, but how do you know if he's right or not? You know, how are you going to know? So I don't know, I'm not really convinced about those WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
think
that a lot.
you know, let's form a group and let's talk. I mean, like I said, for the solely purpose of acquiring that confidence in you that you can speak English, yeah, yeah, but might as well talk to yourself. You know, might as well. You know, this is another technique I've I don't know. This technique is crazy, bro. You might
Bring it, man, bring it.
okay. I've discovered that if when you're sitting down, I mean, I need to talk to a neurologist or something. When you're sitting down and you're in a vertical position, your brain acts and works in a certain way. When you lay back, boom, and you're completely laying down on your bed,
Resting.
you're
Okay.
resting in a resting position, your brain works differently.
Okay.
Boom. And then you lose, like when you're vertically sitting, when you're sitting down, you have, even if you close your eyes, you still sense that you're seeing, you know, that you still see, you know. But when you lay back and in a resting position, completely laying down, you use your imagination more because you lose that touch of the sight. You lose sight, and then if you start talking to yourself, you will develop this confidence and you will connect it with your imagination more than words, because when you're sitting down you see words, you know, when you
Yeah.
before you speak
You
you
read.
see the words,
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
about them.
you read, you mentally read, you know. But when you lay back, it's harder to read, you know. It's easier to imagine, you know, and probably easier to listen, to yourself. So if you lay back, I mean, that's a recommendation, lay back
And just
at night
speak.
and just speak to the air.
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of neuro linguistic research out there. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't know at all, but I've seen it work for me when I was younger, and I'm
No, it makes
proposing to
sense.
my
It makes
students.
sense, bro. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some, you know, I know great speakers, you
So
know,
Edgar,
exactly. Oh, Edgar. Hey, man, appreciate it, bro. We got to bring him on the show one of these days, but he evades us, man.
uh,
He's a great teacher. He works at an elementary school and is a coach, and he lived in California. So we should bring him on board one day.
yeah,
Uh,
Edgar, come on.
you know, great speakers talk to themselves, man. I mean, and great thinkers do as well. I mean, they just talk to themselves. You talk to your inner self, right? So, but now laying down and the neurolinguistics behind it and the neuroplasticity, I guess we got to look into it, man. You might be onto something there too. You can start your own cult, you know, teacher Cam.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Let's all learn English.
probably my new school. Like everybody will have to, you know, instead of chairs, I'll have beds.
Hey, all BS aside, I think you're onto something, man. We should talk, bro. I'm not bullshitting, man. I think you got a good idea there. There's a concept. There's a lot of foreigners, right, that are barely finishing their college degree. And if you just tell them, hey, come live in Mexico for 3 months, I'll pay everything for you, man, these motherfuckers will be here. They will be here.
Sure.
We'll talk later on, man. We'll talk later on.
Yeah, of course. All right, guys. Does anybody have an extra comment on that? Yeah, because we're still developing techniques, bro. I
It
mean,
always, and you know, human development changes continuously, bro. You know, we're not building things the way we were building things 10 years ago, 50 years ago. Dude, we're not doing things the way we're doing a year ago.
Sure, sure, bro.
And technology, it's
I remember my grandma used to have this Italian, English, and French system for. I
what?
mean, and then it was my grandma died 10 years ago, so I don't know. She was that the system would have been from 1930s,
30, 1920, yeah.
and it was this type of
Translation
yellow.
based.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I mean, those that was my first contact with English, though, you know. But from then to now, oh, there's too many leaps ahead that we've taken, you know.
100%.
So I think people can. I mean, I don't believe in people learning English in 3 or 4 months. I
Neither
completely
do
disagree on
neither
that.
do I. Neither do I. I sometimes like on Facebook chats, like the groups I've been able to be bilingual in 6 months, man. I will be cursing them right away. You're lying. That's false. That's not true, man. That is not true at all.
Sure, not at all. But at least, but if you tell me 12 months, you'll be functional, bilingual. I might say, if you really have the discipline, you know, and you're really onto it,
Maybe.
I give it to you, you know. But it'll take you. I mean, we yeah, that we need to start being
Now,
honest.
Oh my good, you just touched upon it. I don't know. I mean, we might be deviating a little bit from the topic, but do you know who Diego Racine is? Or
I've heard of them.
dude,
Yeah,
check this guy out. I mean, my mad props to this guy, and you know something that I'm not trying to advocate for him or anything, but something that it goes in hand with language learning. And let me tell you why it goes in hand with language learning. Right now, you know, there's a lot of content that is being driven by under a minute, and I want your thoughts on this too. You know, TikTok is immensely, you know, dominating the market, and right now a lot of people are consuming under 1 minute content. Now, that could be good for marketing, for products, for different services, but I'm not too sure if it goes well enough for language acquisition. Like, for example, let's say you want to talk about adverbs of frequency. The list is long, right? The structure has to be very clear, right? Subject, adverb of frequency, verb after the verb to be, exceptions with the auxiliary. So if you have to explain all this under 1 minute, I mean, come on, man, it's not going to be functional, right? Maybe other topics and content. So I want your feedback on that. What's your thoughts on content under a minute? And two, a lot of these younger generations are not accustomed to being told, no, that's not going to be done in 3 months.
okay,
That's not gonna work in 2 days. And you know, and there's a lot of frustration out there, bud. You know what I mean? And,
okay,
and that's the reality. I mean, I tell people that are learning language for the first time, like my sister-in-laws. You know, one of my sister-in-law was like, "Oh, but you know, there's TikTok, there's YouTube, there's apps," and I'm like, "Yeah, I totally agree with you there." I said, "But you know, this is going to be a long road. This is going to be a long journey. We're going to have ups and downs. You're going to get frustrated. You're not going to like it sometimes. So all this sugar coating that a lot of people do, oh, it's easy and you can learn quickly. And yes, no, they're not telling people the truth, man.
right,
They're
right.
not telling people the truth. So I want to know your thoughts on that, man. Those 2 points.
Okay. Well, first, number one, yes, I think English is the easiest language in the world. I mean, yes, I do think so. Yeah, comparing it to the rest of the languages because of its elements, it has less elements because of its
Yeah.
structure. So
Simplicity.
simplicity.
Yeah.
Comparing
Yeah.
it to Spanish, wow,
Oh,
it's
shit.
way easier.
Yeah.
Comparing it to French, way easier.
To
To German,
German. Oh,
complete.
man. These
To
dudes, man.
Mandarin, Japanese, to Portuguese, any other language. I'm not saying English is the easiest thing in the world. No, but it's the easiest language in the world. Comparing it to the rest of the languages. So that's
Okay.
one thing. Now, TikTok. I mean, we can use technology for our advantage. We need to use technology for our advantage. So, creating content for TikTok. I mean, creating effective content for TikTok.
Under a
you know,
minute, yeah.
yeah, is very. You have to be very talented. You
Okay.
know, I've seen people doing it. You know, however, I think this is
For
a
a language acquisition
for
specifically.
yeah, for language acquisition and for any other topics, you know, but yeah, specifically for learning English, right? So I've seen TikTok videos that are very you know, smartly done. You know, they're very they might be effective, you know, however, it's still support, you know, it's for support, you know, unless you have a teacher that develops a whole system through TikTok videos, you know. And if they do that, which I think will happen like sooner or
Eventually.
later, yes, that that will be really good news to students, you know, because yeah, they will, because there is information that you don't have to be redundant on, you know, you can catch like really quick. And then if you have the talent to express it in a
Pe-
under what
Under a minute, yeah, it's under a
a
minute.
minute, you know, video, you're talented for doing that. And people with like especially young people will catch it right away, you know. Probably older people will need more, you know, depth into it, like
And
oh
more hands on. So basically, for a younger generation, it would work, and it has to be as a support element.
yeah, just that, bro. Man, but it's getting there, because people will have, I don't know, 3,000 TikTok videos, and it might become a system, you
Yeah.
know, later on. I don't think with 10 videos you will learn English. No, I don't think that'll, or any other language. I don't think that's going to happen. However, I think people need to start trying this a little bit more, bro, because yes, I will, I mean, it will be more, we need to master this technique, you know. However, what Diego, I don't know his last name, is saying is part of the, can you close the door, please? Because you know I'm having a pterodactyl there in my
It wants to
kitchen.
fly away, man. It wants to
It'll
fly
fly
away.
away.
Feed it. Feed
I'm
it.
not. I'm not gonna let it go. Or anyway. So what I was saying is that what he's saying is the truth, bro. We need to tell people the truth. You
Yeah.
know, that nothing in life is that, maybe a vaccine, because you get a shot and then you're vaccinated. Yeah, there you go. But only that. Everything else in life requires an effort and language acquisition. I mean, you any English. My daughter is 7 years old.
How's she doing?
Uh, she's doing great, and
Good, bro.
but in Spanish, right? And she speaks Spanish more than English now, you know. But her Spanish is not really the best, and it's taken her 7 years of her life, and she's getting to good English, good Spanish level. But if I start talking about politics to her, she might say, "What are you talking about?" You know, because it requires time. She still commits some mistakes when
Yep.
she speaks, when pronunciation mistakes in her native language. You know, so for any of these people, for anybody that is in university right now, you know, that only speak Spanish. How long has it taken you to have this level of Spanish, or of your native
Years.
language? You
Years,
know?
man.
Because when you're in secondary school, you speak, you know, you have a certain level. When you are in high school, you have a certain level. But now in university,
College.
let's say
Yeah.
you're in at the top of your language, right? Later on, you will just practice it, but that's it. You're not gonna learn more language than in university. So how many years? 20 years. So you expect to learn another new language
In
in three
6 months.
months? Man, it's not gonna happen. You know,
Good point, man.
you can use your native language as an advantage to learn another language. Will might cut the time in half, 10 years. Yeah, let's give it 10 years. You know, of course, it's like going to the gym. You know, like I said, somebody said, somebody asked, do you think I can learn English in 3 months? And I said, well, it's like going to the gym. Like, go to the gym for 3 months.
See what happens.
Body? What body are you gonna? I mean, you're gonna be stronger than 3 years before, yes, but you're not gonna be The Rock.
Yeah, you're not gonna be Ronnie Coleman, man.
Exactly. I was gonna say the Hulk. What was that?
No, man. Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno. Yeah.
Rest his soul.
Oh, he did pass away.
Yeah, I think he passed away, didn't he? Are you still alive? I don't know, man.
I think he's still alive. Anyway, Brenda.
Look what she says.
Probably the last comment in the podcast this morning. It says, I always said English is difficult, but when I started learning German, I realized English is so easy. Exactly.
Speak the Deutsch, the Deutschen.
Yeah, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
But Deutsch.
When you teach English and when you teach Spanish, because I teach Spanish too. Oh, you see the difference, bro.
Oh, dude, I tried teaching Spanish to one of my ex-bosses. He's from India, and he needed conversational Spanish, right? And I said, man, I can do this, man. Let's give it a try. I only did it for 2 weeks, man, and I rest my case. I said, you know what? Go with an expert, man.
No, because when I have
my
English
respect.
students, and they say, hey, do you think in a year I'll be bilingual? I don't want to lie. I don't want to be too honest, but I think about the answer and I say, I'm going to risk it. Yeah. In a year, you'll be not fully bilingual. That'll be another word, but you'll be bilingual.
You can communicate in both languages at a certain degree.
You'll be there. You'll be in English. You'll be in English in a year. Yes. But if a Spanish student asks me the same question, I say, ooh, I don't know what to say, bro. A year learning in Spanish?
Spanish takes its time, man.
We might not.
That's why when I see foreigners speak decent Spanish, my respects, man. My respects.
Okay.
My goodness.
Good Deutsch.
Good Deutsch sprechen. Is that from Rammstein or something? That's a Rammstein song. Rammstein.
It's similar to Spanish. I mean, it's similar to English. Ich is I.
To a certain degree, man, because their tenses and their words are freaking like.
Yeah, but dude, look, they put the verb at the end.
Exactly.
So yeah, English is easy for that. Subject, verb, complement. Finish.
Keep it simple and tell people the truth.
Exactly. All right, guys.
All right, man.
That was it for this morning. Thank you very much for everybody that showed up. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Fabi. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you, Andriani. Thank you, everybody. Estrella. Thank you, everybody. Octavio. Thank you very much. Everybody that got into this. Oh my God! No, it's
flying. That thing is flying, boy.
It's really flying. Anyway, all right, bro. Give me a last comment.
Nothing. I mean, I think there are different strategies out there, right? You shared some of your strategies, shared some of my strategies. Actually, I think you shared more of your strategy, which is fine. Just take those strategies. I mean, at the end of the day, take the strategies that best work for you, right? And from our perspective, we're always going to be telling, our students the truth. We're not going to sugarcoat it.
Yes, that's what it is, So English is easy itself. However, you need to make it a passion. If you don't have passion for learning or for anything, if you do like cooking or if you don't put some passion in it,
true.
What's your expectation? What? Like, no, it needs to become your passion. And I mean, English is not my native language, but it became my passion. I want to learn. I wanted to become better. And I
didn't touch it. I didn't touch
it. But if I had, because I had friends that when I got to the United States, people were there for 10 years already, and they spoke no English. And I say, God, bro, you're already here for half of your life, and you don't even like what? But it never became their passion,
exactly.
So if you don't take anything, talking about language acquisition as your passion, no, you're not make it. So make it a passion. Be patient. Be constant,
Yeah,
and you'll make
constant.
it.
Yeah,
If you have passion,
definitely.
constant, you'll make it. All right, I'm gonna go take care of that pterodactyl because you need some food and some plants. I need it
Feed
anyway.
me.
Feed me. That's what it is. All right, guys. So thank you very much. See you next week. All right.
All right, man.